You do. Probably. We're not, officially? Oh. Do you think we should anyway? I mean, as long as people don't know that we're not collecting dues, what's the problem? Sam's here. That'd be kind of disappointing. Yeah, tell us about this jazz that's happening. I don't think he can. Oh, we have 7 people watching, actually. That's kind of... Oh. Well, only 2 of them are. Oh. Well, it's still more than 0. Bobbit counts as a viewer? Oh, that feels bad. Emery watches, though. Does she have an account to chat with? Oh. Oh no. Yeah. They can only hear me? Oh. I don't know why. Oh, I know why. Cause I have... What do I have this set to? Aux 1. Oof. Okay, now they should be able to hear you. There we go. I had it set to the wrong...
Why do you have so many audio devices?
I have a lot of audio devices.
Oh, wow.
Because you need this many, right?
Ooh.
Because you've got...
Emery, just going right at it.
But you're not why I listen? Oh, she's here to hear me, I guess.
She makes up 50% of our...
You're not the reason.
She's making up 50% of our viewer base right now.
Yeah, she's carrying the club. Alright, so should we continue even though it's just for Emery?
I guess.
Oh, Sam's still here, right?
Wait, did you even post last week's show?
It's on Twitch.
Did you post a blog post?
Yeah, I made a commit in the repo.
It didn't get published, dude.
Well...
Oh, guys, Linus Torvalds is here.
Linus is always here.
I know, but that's like a big... Like, we can start now.
Feels bad. Let's see, I pushed to ND log 6 hours ago.
Dude, it didn't publish.
I wrote it on my phone.
It didn't publish, bro.
It's not my problem. Let's see. What
Yeah,
does it say? Why it didn't work?
You have to see it through.
Oh, it didn't work.
It did not work.
why.
I don't know, you gotta
Pull
check.
request. I don't know how to check the CI.
You gotta check the CI, dude.
I
Much
just said I don't
professional.
know how to do that. Click.
Okay, well, one of the things that we need to do is fix this. So, yeah, it didn't build. Failed 6 hours ago.
Does it say why?
Something on line 3.
You might have to make sure the date isn't set to the future.
I don't think it is.
No, you wrote jank markdown.
I wrote jank markdown.
Yeah, I just put it in Twitch chat. The
Wow,
link to
so everyone
CI.
can see it?
Content.
Yeah, so you can see our jankiness here.
I mean, I don't believe it, so let me see. 2020 line 3. I don't see the issue with line 3. It says it's the 23rd of September. I don't see why that would be an issue, though.
Are we live debugging here?
We are.
I don't know. Unmarshaled failed near line 3.
Expected key separator.
Last key parse was description. It said last thing.
Oh, I forgot an equals sign.
Well,
That would do
bro.
it.
That
I
would do
blame
it.
my phone for that one.
Well, we honestly
Look at that
need to
live
fix-
debugging. That was
we need to
riveting.
We need to fix our CI really badly.
I don't know. It works, though.
No, it doesn't. You don't even know how to get to it.
I figured it out, though. I'm gonna.
Because I
bookmark-
linked you to it. I linked you to it.
There we go. I don't need to ever worry about it now.
Yes, student 06. That is an issue that we need to fix.
I'm just saying, I've bookmarked the page, so.
All right, are we actually gonna do this or not?
All right. Yeah, I guess we can.
It's basically us and Emery and Linus.
And Sam.
As I said, it's the officers and Emery and Linus.
Also, Sam says, "Who's Sam?" I don't think Sam's actually
If
in
only
chat.
our president was a web dev. Yeah, I'm a web dev, but that doesn't mean I want to fix something that is not broken.
All right, let's just jump into it then.
Yeah.
All right, so we once again have Zeph back. Praise the Lord. I'm
Yep.
just kidding. Gavin did a great job last time.
Unfortunately.
Gavin, I'm
although
super
that-
thankful you covered for me.
Although that the blog post for that episode was not published yet, so you wouldn't know about
It'll be
that.
published soon. I'm sure.
You wouldn't know about that. But Zeph, what have you been up to, man? Because you've been gone for a while.
I have been gone for a while, but not gone doing Linux things, unfortunately. I have been thinking about switching to Wayland over
Oh.
X11, so I might do that.
Why would you
sometime.
do that?
What's wrong with Xorg?
Well, you see, Xorg
It's all
is really
tradition,
old.
dude.
So
It is tradition, but it's really old and wasn't built for what people currently use it for anymore.
Dude, it puts pixels on the screen. What else do you need?
yeah.
You know, I want those pixels to be put on my screen efficiently and in a modern fashion. So
I don't think Wayland's faster though. I don't think that's a selling point.
No, I don't really think so. I think the only selling point of Wayland is it's like less jank, but it's
It has,
currently
like, a-
it's currently more jank though because a lot of stuff doesn't support it properly.
It has the potential to be less jank, but is currently jank.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Kind of like
That's why I
Linux in
don't-
general.
That's why I don't use it.
Yeah. So I was thinking of like, it doesn't really cost anything to install because you can just like choose your session type when you start your computer.
Wait, does Plasma even support Wayland? I heard that's very mixed.
Yeah, it's janky. So Plasma has like this big, they have like a big like board of like what's forked and what's working. So it's kind of
Before you
supported.
get too far, you should explain to the audience what is Wayland.
Wayland is an alternative, a modern alternative to X11. X11 being the display backends that Linux uses. So when you do your X forwarding with PuTTY, that's what's happening. You're literally just like
So this is
sending
sort of
away
the
the X11
subsystem in
command.
charge of drawing graphics to the screen.
Yeah, and so X11 was built like years ago, right? That was like a 80s thing.
When I was born.
Yeah.
So, and they've kind of just been like cobbling together extra features for X11 whenever they need them. But Wayland is modern, so it's being developed more recently. It's FOSS still under MIT, and it promises to be less janky because instead of just having like extra modules built on for new features, it's supposed to be built into it.
I disagree with the Wayland architecture, but
really? I actually don't know that much about it.
I'm not opposed to like adopting it when it's ready, but for me it's not ready. So I'm probably not gonna adopt it for like another decade, knowing myself.
Yeah.
So
because the main selling point is the fact that like it's supposed to be better than X11 in terms of jank.
But the thing is,
no one has like working software on it yet.
I think Fedora is the only distribution that defaults to it, right? I think everyone still defaults to X11. So
Fedora defaults to it, and then Ubuntu has a really easy toggle to it. Like they installed
they had to make it a toggle because it wasn't reliable enough.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. It's supposed to be built to be more reliable than X11, but it isn't yet because it's not done. And software compatibility has been rough. So yeah, I was thinking of just trying it kind of for shits and giggles. But
you seem like a busy guy, though. I'm not sure that's something you want to do.
But like I said, it costs nothing.
Yeah, but
time.
True.
Are you saying your time is free, Zephin?
My time is it's not free.
Well, he's saying his time is worthless.
But if it borks my computer, then whatever. Like I just then turn it off the next time I start up.
How about you, Mike? What you been up to, man?
I bought an Apple Watch. I guess that's kind of cool. But that's pretty much it. Midterms.
I heard the was it aux thing doesn't really work well.
The aux thing?
The blood thing, the blood oxygen thing.
Oh,
pulse ox.
Wait, that was supposed to be a thing?
Yeah, it's not supposed to be as good as like an obvious dedicated one, but
I heard it's mainly due to the location.
Well, yeah, because it's got to go through your wrist.
It's on your wrist.
Yeah.
Do you use it? Like, do you
look
at the
I've had it for like I got it Monday, so I've had it for 2 days now.
I heard the battery life is like 2 days.
Yeah, they say I charge it in the morning after I wake up.
That's kind of terrible, dude.
How long does your Garmin watch last?
5 days.
Wow.
5 days.
How much does it do?
It does enough.
Does it?
It's sufficient. Yeah, it does.
Okay, well.
It makes me get. Hold, let me check real quick. It makes me get up. Yeah, I need about 2,000 more steps after this.
Wow. Good. You should just put Zoom on your phone, and then you can do the Luke Smith Zoom session.
You know, guys, I have an automatic watch, so it lasts literally forever, and still tells time.
What's the automatic watch? Is that the brand? Is that the brand?
No, like the movement is automatic.
What happens?
How's it automatic?
As in, like, it's kinetic, so when you move your arm, it like, compresses a spring.
Don't wear it for a week.
Nice flex, dude.
I'm just saying, it's cheaper than
what if I don't want to move?
What if I don't want to move?
Yeah.
What if I don't want to move, man?
I want to sit in my chair all day.
Then get a solar watch, unless your room is just like a dark cave.
But so, Mike, what prompted you to yet again spend more money with Apple?
Because he has an Apple card, and he needs to use the one perk for it.
Basically, more or less, I wanted it. Biggest point, I wanted it, and
I don't understand how someone who's a college student who doesn't have regular income just spends their money like they're drinking water, whereas someone like me, right? Like, I have to, like, think about it and then ask my wife if I should get something.
So maybe you should divorce your wife and ask for everything
the problem
in the split.
I'm just saying, I don't understand, like, how you can spend your money so freely.
Well, because I don't have anyone to, like... I don't have to ask anyone if this is a sound financial decision. I can just do it.
You
should ask yourself.
I think that means you need a girlfriend, dude.
Oh,
Not every college student is like that. Yeah,
That's
but
true.
you're
Hey, you know what, Sam? You know
you're a
what, Sam?
beta, Sam.
Once you build that machine, you should come on the show and tell us, walk us through it, man.
that's true.
All right. Speaking of machines, I've converted all my stuff at home to all Dell stuff. So I had an Acer monitor. I traded that for the Dell monitor on campus. So now Appa has an Acer monitor. I actually upgraded to Android 11 because of Graphene OS, which is the ROM I use on my phone. Now uses Android 11, so that's pretty nice. And last time in our show with Gavin, we talked about how I wish I could spend money on open source, and then AKK tried to troll me with oh look, WeChat has a donation link. Do you want to click on this link here, AKK?
Okay.
Check out whose name on top here.
Peter Bowie, how much did you donate, King?
I don't know. It was in euros, so.
Oh,
How
wow.
many euros did you donate?
It was like 10 euros.
Okay. I don't see you in the top 10, so
Yeah.
I mean, I
Wow.
just donated. So
Google is the number 4.
I think I'm gonna try to donate to a different project like every month or so. And
Okay.
So, put my my money where my mouth is, that sort of thing.
Can I talk about Graphene OS really quick? Why is this
Go
a
ahead.
wall of text on their homepage?
I know it's not
It's-
exactly the best homepage to
it's
sell
for
you.
people that know how to read, which I understand. For college kids, that's difficult to do.
Okay,
I think
but like
just for Americans, that's pretty.
All
rare.
you do is you sit there and you read.
I don't want to do that. I want to know why I should use this thing. Give me a bullet
It's
list.
there. It's
No,
there in
no,
text.
No,
I
you
want
need
a bullet
No,
list.
a picture. Give us icons.
Right?
I think there's an FAQ. Click on the FAQ. What does that look
Why
like?
don't you make that the
It's
whole?
even
This
more
is not
text.
any better. This is more like what
It's
devices.
text with hyperlinks.
Give me.
bro? It's if you're too lazy to read, it's not for you. Okay.
This is not something. Okay, I want you to next time when we're done with this, I want you to sit down and read it, and then give me a TLDR.
I already read it.
Okay,
I already
TLDR
read it.
then.
Okay, it's a security-focused Android ROM.
Tell me
It
the
has-
features it has. Why
It's
should
based-
I use it?
I'm telling you. It's a security-based Android ROM. Okay, it has hardy security features such as its own malloc.
Okay.
It turns on things like SE Linux and all a bunch of other stuff. It has its own Chromium port, which it hardens
Okay.
for security sandboxing and stuff like that. Unlike Lineage OS, it supports signing. So with Lineage OS, you have to like unlock your phone, and then your boot is insecure. With Graphene OS, it's secured, so it relocks it. So why this is important is that some applications require you to have a locked bootloader. For instance, OKTA or Okta, as we like to say at Notre Dame, will not work on Lineage OS. I tried;
Huh.
it will not work because it detects that you're using a unverified ROM. You're gonna hack all our stuff, so we're not
Free,
gonna
it's
allow
not
you to use
secure.
it.
Yeah.
Some banking apps don't allow that. So
Banking.
Banking.
I was like,
Gotcha.
banking
So the trade-off with the security, of course, is performance. So it's a little slower. It doesn't support some sketchy things such as Sprint. The Sprint network actually apparently requires basically a backdoor to run on your phone.
Well.
So it doesn't support the Sprint network. So I had to change my provider.
Whoa.
Um,
Okay, most people go the other way. They're like, oh, yeah, my
I
provider
know.
doesn't
Well,
support
I bought
this
the phone
software.
first. I bought the phone first. So, well, no, I bought the phone not knowing that the network didn't work. But I mean, but the nice
Gotcha.
thing about this is that updates have been consistent, unlike Lineage OS. It supports security features. I mean, personally, I'm not a huge security person, as most people sort of know. But it's a well-supported ROM that gets regular updates, which is more than you can say for, say, Lineage OS.
Okay.
Right, where Lineage OS kept like deprecating phones I was using, and it did at the time it didn't support the 3A, which is really disappointing. So
It's more than you can say for pretty much every ROM besides Google, like
Yeah.
besides Android.
Yeah,
Like
I
more
feel
you can say
the-
like about Galaxy's ROM. That's definitely not well supported.
I feel like all the Android ROM scene has sort of diminished recently, the last few years, and I'm not sure why that is. I'm sure someone else can chip in on that or pitch in on that. But Graphene OS, there's actually another version, another closely related project. Do you want to type this in? It's called Calyx OS.
How do you spell that?
So Calyx OS. It's I just typed it into chat. And so it's a similar idea. It's security oriented ROM, but it supports, for instance, like micro G out of the box, and it has a little bit better support for like more mainstream things. It's a bit faster. So this is probably what more bullet point type shit you want, So
Okay, but I mean the only thing is that you forgot to mention their security focused PDF viewer.
I don't even use it, so
Well,
I don't. If I see PDF, I don't click. So
okay.
Wow.
PDFs are for nerds.
Must be tough being a professor.
Professor, when do I need PDFs?
Good point. Your course, you just say no.
I just say no. All right, let's go.
Move
into
on
the
to some
news.
tech news. Okay.
Tech news.
I'm really
We have a
triggered
lot
that I
of-
missed all the hardware stuff.
We have, that's your fault though.
Well, you
man.
can
I
tell
know.
us what's coming down the Intel pipeline.
There's some hardware stuff in here though. There's some
Okay,
hardware stuff in
good.
here.
Okay.
You know what? Let's not even talk about TikTok.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about
It's still
TikTok.
here. We've talked about it 3 times already. Let's move on.
Facebook.
Do you guys care about this Facebook DM stuff?
I use none of these things, so no.
I say I don't use Facebook Messenger or Instagram, so this doesn't
I mean,
affect me.
does anyone in chat? Do you guys excited that you can now DM from Instagram to Messenger?
From my understanding, people really dislike that they're merged now. From what I've read on Reddit.
I mean, then the next step is WhatsApp, right?
Yeah, and that's what people are very afraid of.
Yeah, that would piss me off.
And that means rip end-to-end encryption. So
I know, and like if you use WhatsApp, pretty much the first thing when you create a conversation, they're like, "Oh, it's secured with end-to-end encryption. No one can know your messages, not even us." Ha ha ha. So, but that's already been destroyed since Facebook acquired.
So
them.
here's the thing I want to bring up about end-to-end encryption. I think I talked about this before. End-to-end encryption only works if you trust the clients.
Mm-hmm.
But who writes the client?
Marcus
Facebook.
Zuckerberg.
Zuckerberg does. So your message goes into this very secure pipe. Fancy, great. But guess what? It comes out the end of the pipe, and they can do whatever they want, such as, maybe archive it for history.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to log it.
They
So
say
and-
they
so-
don't, but that's literally all you can. That's all you have to go off of.
Exactly. You don't know. You can audit. It's closed source. Like
Yeah.
end to end, it's not. People keep pushing end to end as like this magical thing. No, dude. Like if
You
you
have to-
can't trust
yeah.
the client, it doesn't matter how good the pipe is. So
Yeah. That's
They
what I'm
brought
saying.
selfie
Especially if
stickers
they,
in, though.
especially if they merge that too. I don't really understand why this is news, to be honest. Besides like people reading that they get combined.
well, Zuck is like saying like, oh, the future's chat, and we're gonna merge everything to chat,
Oh,
make Messenger
okay.
like
Mm.
the new.
So
Like,
there's
have you
only gonna
seen the
be-
new Facebook?
There's gonna be one
It's-
chat, and it's just gonna be like Facebook uniting the world.
The few
Sort of.
times
Have you
I've
seen the new
gone
Facebook?
on the new Facebook, I'll pull up my Facebook.
It is so bad.
It is so bad. Like
Yeah.
it
My
looks
wife-
all right on a mobile, whatever, but
Yeah, on a mobile browser, it's better than the old Facebook on the mobile browser.
but
My wife was reading so hard. I had to find a user agent plugin to like change it back to like the normal one.
The problem
she's
is
like-
it's pretty much just like it's like they ported a mobile device
To
or a
the
mobile app
desktop.
to desktop.
yeah, they did.
That's
looks
what it
like-
feels like.
It looks like Twitter, It feels like Twitter.
I really dislike it.
Actually, it kind of. You know what? Looking at this looks like it looks like Google Plus, to be honest.
Oh god. And just like that, you've killed the new Facebook.
No, seriously, it looks like the card interface.
It does.
for Google
it
Plus.
really does.
But
I very much dislike it.
Nolan says he likes Google Plus. This is his favorite. All right. Well, we also have a bunch of product announcements
Mhm.
this apparently last few days. So one is Microsoft's new Xbox app will stream to your iPhone.
Yep.
Yes.
Does that excite you?
I
Does that
don't.
This is
excite
kind of
you?
like Steam Play essentially,
Yeah, it's Steam Play, but for the Xbox.
and Steam Play is great. It works really well. I'm assuming it's kind of using a similar technology backend.
Yeah, this has been around for a while. Like you've been able to stream your Xbox games to your Windows 10 computer.
Yeah.
But I've never
So-
But
used
have
it.
you tried it on your Fruit device?
I don't have my Xbox here, so no.
No.
I think the argument is weaker for a mobile device, because a lot of games that like are on Xbox are very not suited for mobile.
Well,
I
you
feel.
need like that's why you buy the little controller.
Oh,
clip
you buy like a
add-on.
shield or something like that.
So when it streams, is it literally just transcoding and give you like a video feed?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
And
So
send me your
they-
controller input.
It's a lot of magic to get that to be as low latency as possible.
Interesting.
So I mean, of
All
course,
right.
you're still bottlenecked by the latency of whatever link you have.
Yeah.
Is that all you'll be doing in bed, Sam? Sorry.
This is a Christian podcast.
Sorry, I'm sorry. It was too easy. It was
I like
too
how you
easy.
used his actual name too.
I
Just
know.
doxing him like that.
All right. Sorry. This is all I have. This is all. I look forward to this every week. This is all I have. Let me have this, okay? All right. Something else that you might want to have
No.
is this Amazon Ring camera
is
with a
this?
flying drone.
Okay, you posted this in the topics in our topics document, and I thought this was like an onion. I thought
No,
you like
it's real.
ate the onion.
No, you know what? You know what's crazy? My wife came in today and she's like, "Have you seen like the Amazon drone thing?" I'm like,
Does your
"Yes."
wife want
She's
it?
like, like for the times when like we're out of the house and like we just want to know if like something's up with our house. If you're in California, if you want to someone broken in or the water's running, she's like, "I would love to have a drone just go around the house." And I'm like, "Oh god, we're gonna get this one of these,
So
aren't we?"
is that the purpose of this product? Like he'll do like a house sweep?
I don't know what the purpose is. That was her vision, is to like sweep the house. 'Cause it's Ring, right? So it's
Yeah.
surveillance stuff.
I don't understand why this would ever be better as in like more cost effective, or better like video or better surveillance than, I mean, like a camera setup.
Because
just
it's
saying.
a
Like a
drone.
regular
Like,
mounted camera
if
setup.
If I'm gonna break
Drone,
into your
bro.
house and I see this little drone thing flying around, I'm hitting
I'm
it
just
with
gonna
a bat.
swat it.
Yeah, say
Yeah, and then poof,
congrats, your
goodbye,
camera's
sec-
busted.
I don't think that's the use case. I think the use case is like if you're gone from your house, like you can like survey it.
But how is that any different
Then-
than using a like alarm door or something, or alarm to like windows and door,
Yeah.
or like a
I'm-
basic camera setup?
Bro, I don't know. I don't know. Let's move on. So
Okay.
So
You're not-
Lenovo is offering the first foldable PC. So Bill, I don't know if he's here or not, was
Definitely
all
was.
about foldable machines. How do you guys feel about this?
I think it looks neat. It's an expensive little guy at $2,500.
Well, it's the screen is foldable. It's the screen that's foldable,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I think a foldable device in this form factor, like 13 inches, makes more sense than a foldable device in a phone form factor.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Yeah. I mean, it depends
Um,
on the use case, right? Like,
Yeah.
this is definitely like I feel like this is competing with like the Duo in terms of
Yeah, the Duo's in a weird spot though.
Yeah.
Just because of its size. I still don't really see, if I'm honest, how a foldable device would be better than a 13-inch. Like if you had the device unfolded and it was like permanently unfolded, how that 13-inch device would be worse than this foldable one. Because most, like, this one, when folded, it's not going to fit in your pocket from its
No.
size. And like so it's going to be in a bag, and most bags can fit a 13-inch device anyways. So it seems to me that the only thing, you're just sacrificing screen, because a foldable screen is going to be worse and you're going to have durability problems. So I think it's better in this form factor, but I still don't quite see
Yeah.
the appeal or
I think
the reason.
the biggest problem is that looking at some of the pictures, it only has a
Mhm.
virtual keyboard.
Well, yeah, that makes sense for what they're going for.
Okay, but are you gonna want to type on a virtual keyboard?
Oh no, of course not.
Like,
I
No.
I think it looks like a good I would say a good content consumption device, but folding screens are generally not
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah,
it
but at
comes
that
with a
point,
physical.
why? But at that point, why don't you just like use
Buy
a
an
tablet?
iPad?
That's what I'm saying.
Well, because if
And
you want
they market
Windows,
it
right?
mm.
Like you want a real.
If you want
desktop
Windows, then
device.
get a Surface.
Yeah, get a Surface. Let's
Yeah,
do
but
this.
does
Because
the
uh,
Surface
it's
fold in
expensive
half?
still. No, and that's what's good about the Surface.
It says it fits in. It practically fits in your back pocket. How big is it? What are the dimensions?
Practically-
It's also a
Who's
thick
back-
boy, as
whose
Studio and Six Gang
whose back
says.
pocket are
I
we
want to
talking
see the
about here?
dimensions.
Not my back pocket, that's for sure.
Dude, look at that! Look at that guy holding that. Dude, that's not gonna fit in your back pocket.
It almost fits
It says
exactly.
it practically
Lenovo.
fits,
It practically fits.
but you'll probably
I don't-
want to keep it on by your side as you're sure to turn heads. Is that what I
So,
want? Is like, hey, that guy
I think
has
this
a.
still isn't it.
So
you
let's
know,
go rob this dude with his
I think-
$2,500 computer.
I think I remember I think Asus had a dual screen laptop a while back.
Yes.
Like a number of years back. And that made more sense to me than this. Because like if you're having it for like a real estate thing, then sure, but then you don't need it to be folding. So
Wow, that is really pricey. All right, let's
Yeah.
move on. Let's move on.
Yeah.
I'm
no
sure
man.
AKK will buy it once he wants it. Enough,
Once
so.
Apple makes it.
But once Apple makes it.
Yeah, once Apple does it.
All right.
All right. Last product announcement.
Yep.
All the
Google-
Google stuff.
Google just announced, I think, like a few hours ago,
Yeah.
this Chromecast Android TV now is being combined into Chromecast with Google TV.
They don't
I
like
don't
the
even know
Android
what this
brand.
means. I don't even know what this means.
I think that this is a very logical thing that should have happened a long time ago. Like it seemed like they had two separate products that were fulfilling similar roles. Like Chromecast is obviously geared towards streaming your other devices' content, and Android TV was like content hosting itself. But it seems to me that like this was a pretty
it's only $50.
natural move. Yeah, and it's actually it's a good price. If you have a not smart TV, then this makes like apparently the experience is pretty good. So
The only thing that bothers me about it is that I just spent money on a Chromecast like a few months ago
yeah,
when I could have just gotten this.
What
Yeah.
Chromecast
So-
did you get?
I just got like the ultra, not the ultra. I just got like the latest
Ah.
version. But
so and it looks like it can handle apparently 4K and HDR10, and like they released I think the GPU and specs.
Yeah, they
so
said
it
they
should
know
be
the specs.
fairly competent.
wait, so if it runs Android, can it run like apps and stuff? Is that the idea?
Yeah, but it's not like you don't have access to just like the regular Android APK installer.
Oh,
Right.
That's sad.
Yeah.
And the number of apps that are released to it, like obviously since Google can control that, there's very few.
Hmm.
It's really just for like streaming services to release their own
Yeah.
apps.
Basically.
Yo, AKK, is Jazz still playing? Cause 'cause Sam's going crazy.
Yeah, the jazz is playing in the background very quietly.
You're triggering.
No. You should have said that it's not, and it's just Sam's jazz hallucination.
Do you have a problem with the jazz, Sam? I think it's a nice touch.
All right. Actually,
All right.
speaking of Sam, I want to talk about 7 and 7A. I think this is interesting.
Okay.
So this week, Netflix. So actually, a couple weeks ago, Freakonomics had a podcast about Reed Hastings and their philosophy in terms of running Netflix. But this week, Netflix CEO wrote an article about how the idea of a 10x engineer or programmer is true, and it's so true they're willing to pay you a lot of money for it. So Netflix, has a reputation of only hiring the best, and one of my best friends actually works at Netflix, and I would consider him one of the best programmers I ever met. So But do you guys buy into this idea that some people are just like 10x or just like or 100x or just like way better than everyone else,
Yes,
and
absolutely.
that they deserve all that extra compensation? Or
I
do you think
mean,
like nah?
if you're doing more work than me, maybe. I think if anything, it should lead them to being promoted better. I don't know.
I mean, have you met someone that you say, oh man, they're like definitely 10x the CS major I am, or 10x the CPEG major?
Yeah.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Like who?
I don't think. I think I'm not sure. I do it on like an entire basis. Like just like they're 10x the student.
Yeah.
I think there's definitely people who are like 10x the programmer I am. I'll easily say that.
There are people who
No
care a
one, no
lot
one says
more
growth
than me.
mindset.
Like I'd say compared to me, Emery is a 1000x student, right? She cares about school. I've it's gone down the drain lately.
You're starting to
feel that.
swell a little bit.
I feel that. But
Growth
like,
mindset? No thanks, King.
I mean, do you think this idea though that there is a 10x engineer out there? Do you think that's
yes.
harmful? Do you think that's harmful? Like, cause like like if Nolan's is like, oh, I'm not 10x, I'm only like 0.5x, like what? I'm not saying that he is. I'm just saying as an example.
King.
Right?
As a student you've had before.
I'm like, does that make you like inspired to like, oh, I will one day become 10x, or does that make you go like, F that, I'm never gonna be 10x, I might as well give up?
I don't know. I feel like if you're never gonna, yeah, that's a hard question.
I guess for me, I'm someone who's very content with being wherever I am, and if I happen to improve, like in school, it's like whatever. I don't care too much at this point. But there,
I actually remember freshman year. I was like struggling hardcore with like chem.
Oh yeah, same.
And then like this kid, we called him the robot because he sat in front of every class. He was in my chem class, my physics class, in my calculus class.
Y'all are mean.
And dude just like our average was like a 60 and he got like a 95.
I know a person like that, yeah.
And I was just like, I'm not gonna be that. Like I just made peace with myself and be like, you know what? It's okay to not be that person.
Yeah, but didn't you?
As long as I think if you still have opportunities, right? Like if there are still jobs available for the 1x programmer, then I don't think the existence of like 10x is necessarily.
Yeah, but like what do you do if you're like me and you're a Pentium and everyone else is like a Core i7? Like, like
you
I'm
become
over here.
Ryzen.
So you're saying switch teams?
You switch teams.
You drop out of CS majors entirely?
Yes.
Yeah, 10x is a 10x because it's so rare. Like,
Okay, would you rather have one 10x or 10 1xers?
Theoretically, if the definition of a 10x is that they do 10 times the work, then those should be equivalent.
Yeah, say this is like a bandwidth versus latency problem, Bowie. You really set yourself up there.
I don't know if it's quite the same though, because okay, here's a couple things to think about though, right?
Okay.
Like with 10 1xers, right? You have potential for some of those 1xers to grow.
Yeah.
To become a 2xer.
Yeah.
Right? So then in the long run, right, because you made that investment in those 10,
it would be better to have
average
10.
You have, right? Another thing to consider, with one 10xer, right? If they get hit, say, by a bus, right? This is something we talk about in open source all the time. We call it the bus factor.
Are you trying to harm these people?
No, because you have your core stuff maintained by one person.
Who's driving the bus?
Then you lose that expertise. But if you have 10 1xers, you lose one 1xer.
You've only lost 1x.
You only lost 1x, right? So
it's okay.
It's okay to hit.
It's like, would you want to have like one like super like mob, or would you want to have like 10 smaller mobs?
So whose life do you value more?
No, we're not casting life values here.
That's what he said. If a 1Xer gets hit by a bus, he can be replaced.
No, it's hard to replace that 10xer. It's hard.
Well,
to
yeah,
replace
I'm
the
saying
10Xer.
if the 1Xer gets hit by a bus,
Then you just pull up some other kid from Notre Dame. It's fine.
So I think the way that this essentially should go down is like the entry level jobs should not really have like a 10x position. But I think AKK sort of alluded to this earlier. Maybe someone who is a better programmer, maybe they get put through the advancement track earlier, and in that way you can compensate them for their work or something like that.
I feel that. All right, let's talk about the second article, which is again workplace related. Google is now saying, this work from home hybrid thing, maybe that's the future.
Yeah,
As people looking towards working in the workforce, do you want to work from home? Is the hybrid model something you want, or do you I want to be in an office, please?
where am I living? That's the real question.
let's say it doesn't matter. Let's say wherever you want to live, there's an office.
So you have a choice.
Yeah.
A choice? I feel like for me, I like having a shared place of work where I can, like if you just tell me, like if a company hires me and they ship me a laptop and say, get used to corporate culture, bitch, like how am I gonna do that sitting at home, 8 hours a day, whatever. I guess it would be.
So you want a place of indoctrination, is what I'm hearing.
Yes, like systems.
Wants to be hazed
right?
a little bit.
Yeah, I want to be hazed. I want to be bullied.
Learn a lot about you, Mike.
I need to be indoctrinated, right? And after that, yeah, send me loose.
I mean, I think they call that on-ramping. I think that's the term.
Where will true home be if you?
Oh
work at
wow,
home?
that's some deep insight right there, Nolan.
I mean, I was thinking.
it is pretty hard to separate work and home if you work at home.
Well, that's why you just get a second apartment.
Okay, so you want an office then, because that's
No.
essentially what the second apartment would be.
I want a place of work that is a home and my home, which
you want to work at a startup who's still like in someone's garage.
Well, do I get an office? Can they pay me
You can have
enough
a bedroom.
Can they?
You can have one of the bedrooms in the house.
Well, how about this? If you were looking, because you're looking for jobs, right, Mike?
I am.
Would you churn out a job if they're like, by the way, you're gonna be remote for the first year?
It depends on like how does it pay,
Adequately.
How much is adequately?
Enough Apple crap every month.
Well, you see, I don't know. Like it just depends. It depends on if I want to work for the company, right? Like if
you love everything. You love everything about the company except that they want you to work remote.
They want me to work remote.
Yeah, because some companies are saying, okay, we're just going to go remote. So maybe that could also be in your offer. Like your job's just going to be remote.
That's tough. I don't know.
Really, you would really hesitate on that.
Yeah, like you said, on-ramping is important, and
Interesting.
I feel that there's a lot of truth to that.
I think that's interesting. Chat, how do you feel? Would you work, or would you want to go to a place where?
Would that be a deal breaker?
Like,
would that be a deal breaker if it's remote?
Ask anyone who had a fully remote internship. Do they feel that they got the same experience as they could have gotten had they worked in person?
But also internships, I feel like, are slightly different. And it seems like a lot of companies that are talking about this are also introducing things like, like a hybrid schedule, right? Where you can decide how much time you want to spend in the office and how much time you want to spend at home.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that.
Would you be like okay with like, oh, you come in like maybe like once a month, like or like a week out of the month or something, or like a couple of days out of the week?
Yeah.
Would you be okay with something like that?
I think Bay Area is proposing a 3-day week in person schedule. Yeah, Suno 16. I've heard that a lot for a lot of
like
things.
In legislation. I didn't know that was legislation over there.
I didn't know it was in legislation either, but It seems like a lot of companies are
I-
kind of going that direction.
I could mess with a 3-day a week schedule for everything.
It depends on which 3 days to me. If it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, then that's like the same thing.
I think it rotates. Would be the point of that, to keep
Okay.
like the amount of people relatively
Mm.
constant that are in.
Because if it's like just, yeah, I don't know.
I mean, Professor Brewer, you essentially have 2 days a week in person right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about that?
Do you feel?
I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I want to get too real on camera here.
If you were a new hire here,
To you.
you know, do you think you would enjoy that?
If I was a new hire,
Right, and you were expected to teach a class 2 days a week, and you.
so there's like two parts to this, right? Like I think from like the interacting with my colleagues in the department, nothing has changed for me. I never talked to them when I was there. I don't talk to them when I'm not there. So from the perspective of me talking to my colleagues, nothing has changed.
Yes.
The biggest change, of course, is that I no longer talk to students. I know we alluded to this earlier off
Mhm.
camera when my mic was muted.
Oh yeah.
But like, no one comes to my office hours anymore. Like literally no one. The only people that come are my TAs, and they're like, "Can we stop by?" I'm like, "Yeah, no one's here." Literally, like
I'm playing video
just
games.
I just sit in my office, you know, for 2 hours wondering if I can play video games because no one's there,
Can't you pause?
and I just leave. So, like, to me, the biggest problem with the current situation is that the classroom experience is completely subpar.
Yeah.
Like, I prepare by watching videos of last year. So, like, I was watching the OS videos where I was teaching, you know, Zephin and Emery, and it's like the level of engagement, the ability to write on a freaking chalkboard and like just be completely dynamic, where I can just like go anywhere on the chalkboard and write whatever I want and make a point, go off on a tangent, go to the computer, go back to the chalkboard. I cannot do that. Today, because I have to be next to the podium, it has to be so scripted, has to be so dry. It's like completely on rails. It's like
And the engagement is
Minecraft-
just not there.
it's just not there. It's engaging not with just the students, but also my engagement with it. Like, there's just like no joy to teaching anymore for me. I'm
Yeah.
sorry I have to say that on camera, but
Yeah.
like,
No, I feel you.
it's such a joyless task now because like I don't actually get to see the students like develop and improve. Like,
You
in
don't see them
person.
learn. You just
I don't see them
have
learn,
like
and so
you just have
it's
this
like-
product.
And it's like I don't even know if what I'm doing matters or if it's meaningful, if it has an impact. It's such a joyless job right now, and
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna get better next semester.
Yeah.
And so from that perspective, work from home kind of sucks. But that's just because the nature of my job has always been high touch, right? So
Yeah.
I actually personally think that I'd rather do completely online and like just rip off the band-aid than do hybrid. Because with hybrid, you're like in this weird middle place. It's like C++, right? It's like the worst of all worlds.
Bold
It's like
words.
you're trying to be like the best of both worlds, but it's really the worst, right? It's like in person, you're like, oh great, I can see them, but I really can't. I still don't know most of their names.
Yeah.
Because I don't see their faces. I see a mask. Right?
Yeah, there's still not much engagement.
Like I feel bad because like I didn't recognize my TA who's in the class because like they sit in the back and they're wearing a mask. So I feel bad. Like I didn't even recognize the people I hired. You know, it's just being in person gives you a feeling like, oh, I can make this really good. But then when you're there, you do it, you're like, wow, it's just like not good. And so it makes it feel worse. Whereas if I'm just at home and I'm just teaching online, I know I'm limited. And I'm at peace with that because I know the limitations of it. Whereas if I'm in person, I'm like, there's so much potential here, but I can't use it.
Mhm.
You know? It's like having that option in your face just makes it worse. So
I feel.
yeah, exactly, Emery. It's just like being a CPEG.
Yep.
So
Imagine
Yep, I
being a
feel that.
stinky CPEG.
all right.
I think that a lot of that could also apply to like companies, is like what I'll say before we probably move on. So I also would not like online only or remote.
Well, I mean, what do you guys look forward towards next semester? Because it's probably gonna be the same thing, right?
I don't.
I mean, I'm at that point. That's my last semester.
Yeah.
So
just
I
punch
guess
your
I'm
clock
not-
and move on.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I mean, to be honest, like it's not like that's not what I want to do.
No, not
No,
at all.
I'd love
No,
to
I-
be in person. I'd love to like
No,
actually
I
interact
feel
with
that.
people.
I feel that.
So
I mean, yeah, that's the tough part. It's
Yeah.
just the lack of interaction. And I'm not a social person. I'm really
nor am
not.
I.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that I can't see the impact of what I'm doing. It just feels so transactional, you know.
Yeah, it also feels very hard to learn from the student perspective.
Yeah.
100%.
You know, it's very hard to be engaged, even if you're in, even if, as you're saying, even if you're in class or if you're on Zoom for a class that's taught hybrid, then it's just like awkward. And online only classes, it's difficult too. So
I just can't imagine doing like online for hours, like back to back classes. Like,
yeah,
that would suck. Now, I think work is a little bit different because I think with work you can be asynchronous for the most part, at least for some jobs, right?
yeah,
So it's not like you're at the computer or on camera all the time.
yeah.
But
I
because
mean,
like, I
don't
have
think
friends, I have friends like at IBM, and they're like work from home through the year. So, you know, like, and they're relatively happy about it because they're home with their family and their kids and stuff. And
Yeah.
that aspect I do enjoy.
Yeah.
But it's just I really lost any passion or love for my job. It's just so kind of bad to stay on camera, but the last few days I just been like, I don't even see the point. I don't even know why I go to class anymore. But maybe it's because there's no fall break and I needed it. But
Yeah.
you know,
I think it's especially tough if you're maybe like a new grad, you know, like fresh out of college, or you know, you've moved to like a new city, you don't necessarily have like family or friends with you as well. Then I think work from home can be pretty brutal because it just feels like, you know, sometimes you're like doing your job or coding.
yeah.
So
I mean, along those lines, I actually feel really bad for the sophomores because, you know, sophomore year is usually the year where you like hang out with people and you make your friend group, right? Your major friend group.
Mhm.
And I'm not sure how that's gonna happen, you know, safely next semester in systems. You know,
Yeah.
like usually a lot of people, that's when they make their friend group, or that's when they really lean on other people.
yeah,
Like
the
how's that supposed to happen if you have to be 6 feet apart? You know, I don't know.
Yep. It's just impossible to do naturally for sure. You don't have that like, hey, you're suffering too? Cool, I'm suffering. Let's hang out and suffer together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I'm very tempted. Like, you know, because like in OS this semester, I'm not doing any skits. Like I'm not like calling people to the front. And I'm
Well, you
like,
can't.
Yeah.
well, I'm like, I might try to do that in systems because otherwise that class is gonna be so dead. Like,
Oh yeah.
you
Especially
know,
with
like,
you stuck at your podium, you know, not allowed
that's
to
what I'm saying.
move.
Like, it's just
call on
so
people.
crazy watching myself from last year. Like I'm moving all over the classroom, and I'm doing all these things. I have these props. And this year I'm literally next to the podium. Otherwise, Mike can't hear me on Zoom.
Yep.
And I have a little tablet where I draw things on. It's just
Yep.
It's just so ridiculously bad.
Because you could essentially not be in the classroom, and the experience for students in the room would be pretty much the same.
I know,
Right.
that's like
They'd be hearing your voice and then
Yeah.
seeing on the screen you writing.
Just do it anyway.
It's essentially what they're getting.
All right,
I feel bad for
let's-
them. They're
yeah,
missing
say-
some good buoy.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Let's move on. That's
In
right.
a
I'm just here to
completely
collect a
different
paycheck.
vein.
Next one
I'm
about.
here to collect a paycheck.
Yeah.
Speaking of paychecks,
Oh my god, that's a terrible segue.
someone is gonna lose their paycheck because the Windows XP and various other Microsoft source code has been leaked online.
Yeah.
Have you guys looked at this?
I have.
I
This is
have not
insane.
looked at the dump, but
You
I've
should
read
not
the-
look because intellectual property. Okay.
You should keep your eyes pure.
Okay.
Don't look at the screen. Don't look at the stream. I'm just kidding.
Let's see. What does it have? Oh, that's
Yes, this is illegal. This is leaked. This is not. They open sourced it, so
Yeah.
you should not be looking at this.
This is
source code.
Microsoft. They're not open sourcing their proprietary Windows software.
Although I did see that someone actually took the source code and compiled it today.
oh, they compiled it from leaked source code.
Yeah, it's so
Is there a
apparently
make
it's legit.
file? Oh, the
Also,
video.
No,
this-
it's like a project.
You know,
file
I
or
just
something.
realized this completely undoes the years and years of work that who is it? Who's making that OS that's
React
reverse
OS.
engineered? React.
OS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel so bad for the React team. They've spent so many years
I mean,
reverse engineering.
But the
XP.
thing is, they can't look at the source
Yeah. So
code.
they're not
though.
gonna look at it.
no,
They can't.
but I feel like some of their members would be like, oh, okay, screw it. I'll just compile, or I'll
Windows
just
XP.
use Windows XP source code.
It's still legal to use this though.
Oh,
so.
I know, but
I wish these
But
videos
it's not just
were removed.
it's not just XP though. Like click on the next link, AKK, the one from Linux reviews.
yeah. So it's XP, it's Windows 2000, NT,
Basically.
parts of Windows 7 too. Actually,
oh, parts of
And
Windows 7.
Parts of Windows 7 and Windows 10 is built on a lot of Windows 7.
So
Huh.
I'm very worried that hackers are gonna the bad type of hackers are gonna look at the source code. They're gonna find
Yeah.
some vulnerabilities.
Please
That's
stop
that's the
using-
concerning thing. Or they could understand Microsoft telemetry better, and there's like potential telemetry exploits in there too. So
Dude, this is hilarious though. Like in I think one of these posts, they found Bison source code, which is I think the compiler kids are using, right? You guys using like Flex and Bison or Yak, whatever. And so Bison is a version of that, and apparently that's GPL. And they're like, wait a second, GPL code in Windows?
That's fine.
It's not. No,
Oh,
I don't think so.
that's not fine.
That's not fine. That's
I want
That's not legal.
I want to see GNU versus Microsoft.
Just to be clear, for if any of you don't know, if you have open source code like GPL in your code, then your entire code base needs to be.
Yeah, your entire code base has to be GPL.
If you use anything that's GPL, everything you do has to be GPL.
Yeah.
So
Oh, and some Xbox stuff just to top it off. Got
oh,
leaked.
some Xbox
Oh,
stuff
nice.
too.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I mean, I just want to be clear to everybody. This is not open source, so don't
It
go
is-
out and find this.
We're just sharing that the leak happened. We're not encouraging
Yeah.
you to.
We just want to inform you that this is out there, but you should not
Yes.
be looking at it.
It's
Although-
unusable to
al-
anyone with a semblance of moral
although-
compass.
Although the most important thing I see though is the DOS source code. Because did you guys hear there's like a DOS subsystem for Linux now?
Is it really?
DOS subsystem.
Yeah, just search for that. Just search for that. DOS subsystem for Linux.
And that means that Linux is running on
Oh,
DOS.
God. Oh. Oh.
Developer creates DSL. I like it.
DSL, I love it. I love it.
Is a Linux is who
Oh. Why?
Dude, I love stuff like this. I just love like twisted, warped things that shouldn't exist.
I
just
wonder
love
if it works on non-MS DOS versions.
I see a comment that says the acronym should be LSD, Linux Subsystem for DOS.
Well, see, but that breaks.
Yeah, but
the
they call it
naming
the Windows.
convention.
They call it the Windows subsystem for Linux, even though it's really the Linux subsystem for Windows.
Yeah.
Well, see,
Exactly. That's why they should call it Linux Subsystem for DOS.
I've read into
LSD.
that history, and that there's other Windows subsystem. Like that's their naming convention for whatever reason. It's like the Windows subsystem.
It's just this is dumb. This is dumb. All
I'm
right.
gonna try this
Speaking
one
of
off
good.
camera.
Speaking of GNU, did you
Yep.
guys celebrate the GNU 37th
Nope.
birthday?
Nope, because I don't use
No
Herd.
cake, no celebration.
I don't plan
Sorry.
to.
I'm not a Herd user.
All right, all right.
What
Well, let's
has
just
GNU
move
ever
on.
done for us?
Let's just move
Besides, broke most
Uh,
of the Linux stuff that gets used.
on. OBS has a new release. Are you on OBS
Yep.
26 yet?
I'm
Mike?
on
I am.
OBS 25. I haven't
I
updated
just
in a
updated
long
today.
time.
Oh, bro.
You don't need to
Zach,
update.
what were the sort of new features of OBS?
Honestly, I looked at the patch notes and nothing excited me immensely. They added a Windows feature that's really cool.
Oh,
and
they
this
added
is
the
why it didn't
virtual
excite
camera
me.
built in.
They added virtual camera.
That-
So
oh,
the
that's
idea is
actually
you
pretty
can
cool.
That used
yeah,
to be a
you can
plugin.
pipe. Yeah. So what it lets you do is it lets you pipe any OBS output to as like a fake camera.
Yeah.
So like on Zoom, you could literally just select OBS output as a camera.
So
But they
Mike
only
can
added
just
it to Windows, so I didn't care.
so Mike can
whatsoever.
just loop himself pretending to pay attention forever
Yes.
and ever.
Yes.
Yes.
I've been trying to work on that because I really don't want to go to one of my classes.
Bro, just update to 26, dude.
Well, I have the plugin, but I'm always too lazy, and it's always like, oh, I've already turned my camera on, so I don't want to switch to OBS really quick. But
I think
Alright, let's
that
talk
was the
about the
only
last-
thing in the patch that was interesting.
All right, let's talk about the last news article, and then we can talk to our main topic for today.
Linux is
So-
coming to Windows. Sort of.
Linux
But
graphical
still,
apps.
more.
Does this excite you guys? Running
Uh,
Linux apps on Windows?
What
I don't
Linux?
use
What
Windows,
Linux
so no.
graphical app do I really like? Is so critical to use that doesn't have
A Windows graphical
a
app
Windows
variant.
version.
I can't.
That's what I'm
think of
saying.
one.
Like, I don't. I know the use case. I'm just saying, does this excite anybody really?
I think it's exciting that they're working on it. Like, sure, whatever. I don't know.
It's
who's
exciting to
going
have
use
the
it.
functionality. It just rounds out WSL better, like more,
Yeah,
which is nice. But I think
So-
I mean most people who use WSL are using it for like Linux only like compilers and all this other stuff. They're not. I feel like it's not. As Mike said,
Well-
there's no like application that on Windows or on Linux it's not on Windows.
Well,
Yeah,
because
graphically.
of this, people are speculating that maybe one day, Windows will be based on the Linux kernel.
There's a lot of
guys buy
talk
that?
of that going around.
yeah.
Windows 11, Linux based.
Do you guys buy that theory?
I don't know.
It's hard to believe just given how Windows has worked
And Microsoft in general, yeah.
and Microsoft in general. But we now have Edgium, based on
That's true.
open
That's what
source.
we were saying. We have
Yeah.
Edgium.
And then WSL has gotten a lot of attention, both versions.
Well, I think because they realize
So-
that they really want developers to stay on Microsoft platforms, right?
By making it easier to develop not on Microsoft.
But-
I mean,
Giving people a unit, because people want a Unix command line, right? And so if you give people that, and they're like, oh, and
Mhm.
also you have Windows too, people will, I assume, just choose Windows.
I'm noticing.
Yeah.
I'm noticing more and more students don't even bother installing Linux. They just go to WSL.
Yeah.
Makes sense. I mean, the problem is that can
And-
really screw you for OS. But
I mean, yes, it's not perfect yet, but it is good enough,
Yeah.
right? Like,
I would love to see a WSL 3 that has like the good parts from both 1 and 2. Because like WSL 1, you lack like actual Linux file system and permissioning,
Yeah.
which can mess up some of your OS problems. WSL 2 has terrible file system performance. So
ext4 is coming to Windows though.
really,
Yeah, they're adding
Yeah.
that. They're adding a driver for it.
I'm actually really excited for that. That's great news.
Yeah. So
Mike, do you think in the long run this is a win or a loss for Linux and open source if more and more people are using Linux but through WSL?
I think it's a win.
I think it's a win.
I think any attention on Linux and getting more people using Linux is a win,
Yeah.
even if it's in like a subsystem, because WSL 2
it's-
does
it's
use
so-
the legit Linux kernel.
It's so impure though.
Do,
So
Yeah,
do you
but
not want?
listen, if it gets people to convert to like start using Linux more, and it gets people who are
Well,
shy
okay.
because they want like a Microsofty Linux, and that makes it more comfortable, then
Yeah.
I think that's better. Like I think
Well, I think
power to it.
it's not the purity part that really bothers me. I mean, honestly, this doesn't bother me, but I don't think that's the part that bothers people. It's more like when people said Linux on the desktop, they didn't think it was the Linux kernel on the Windows
Yeah,
desktop.
running on Windows. Yeah, and I
Running
agree
on
with that.
Windows. Like for instance, do you count Chromebooks as Linux?
Yeah.
No. Oh.
I don't know. The thing is, I don't think the community does.
The community
does
definitely.
not.
I mean, I count it in terms of like it's based on Linux and the operating system. But
Yeah.
it's definitely not
it's,
Linux.
it's literally Linux.
Yeah,
it's
it's
literally
Gentoo.
Linux.
Well, it is.
Yeah.
It is the Linux kernel, right?
It's Gen
Yes.
2. Yeah.
Yeah. So in that sense, it's Linux.
But you talk to the community, like, and you talk about you go to like the Linux, community web pages, right? They don't
Yeah.
really talk about Chrome OS. They don't consider that as a part of the Linux
Yeah,
desktop
I think it's because
ecosystem.
too much stuff is abstracted from Linux into,
Yeah.
and that's the point of Chrome OS.
Yeah, I think that's the
Student
main
06
reason.
Gang also says it also helps with people at companies only giving Windows, I assume, on their computers for
Yeah.
lockout and security reasons.
I mean, I totally understand the business case and the use case for WSL. I'm just saying, from a perspective of the community, do you look at this and go, oh, great, we have another potential or somewhat half-time Linux user, or do you look at it and go, oh, this person is, not going to go all the way.
Yeah, like we just lost a
Linux.
potential Linux user because
You lost
they're just
the
going to
potential,
use.
'cause now they're in their comfort zone,
Yeah, and they're just going to
No.
use WSL.
and just do WSL.
I think Linux
Mm.
people cry too much, but that's
Honestly,
okay.
you're never
okay,
going to
well, Apple-
convert like a Linux. Like if you actually want someone to be a Linux user, they're going to be the type of person who is okay with jank and okay
Yes.
with being uncomfortable with their operating system, because that's like what Linux is.
yeah.
So
I mean-
honestly don't think you're losing too many people. I think if anything, you're not losing people and you're gaining people who use WSL and like, okay, this is interesting. Maybe I want to consider using more Linux.
Yeah.
Well, that's just the open source way, is to be janky, right?
That's what I'm saying. Like you have to be comfortable with jank. So
Yeah.
if you're not
Speaking of-
comfortable, then you're not losing
Speaking of
anyone.
janky open source,
Okay.
let's
Oh,
talk
yeah.
about Hacktoberfest.
Let's talk about the jankiest of open source.
Look at
So,
that transition.
Student written.
So let's pull up the Hacktoberfest website and let's explain to our audience
What it is.
and why they should get involved.
It's do they give a little? Oh
Little spiel.
I think they have a video if you go to their webpage.
yeah. How long? Oh, it's a minute. I'll play it.
It's October already. Is it hat?
But that's the summary right there.
I don't think you have
Support
audio.
open source. Wait, can you go up? I want to see the
That's
shirt
true.
for this year.
It's
Wait, it's a white shirt?
it's a white shirt. I'm not sure I like
That's racism.
that. How?
He wants a yellow shirt.
Yeah, where's my yellow shirt at, dude?
Don't they have two different colors? Do they? Let's see. Go to dark. Oh, so it's in dark
Oh,
or white.
nice.
So you can. Oh, that's.
It's
You
in
can dark
white.
mode your shirt. That's actually nice.
It's in what?
It's in white or dark.
What's the dark one look like? Oh,
Dark.
crazy. That's nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Definitely going dark. Definitely
They
going
should default.
dark.
They should default that.
Yeah. What is?
It
what
might
is
be
this?
here. Let me try this. It could be
It
because
might be
I
your
have.
yeah. It might be your system default, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, that dark one looks nice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to enable Windows dark mode.
Just search dark or
Turn on
theme.
dark mode system wide. Oh, that's apparently
It
I have
is.
the default app mode.
Yeah,
That's Edge does not have a dark mode. Interesting.
it does. I think you might have to restart though or something.
I'm not
Whatever.
doing that, but interesting. Okay.
All right. So what is Hacktoberfest? AKK.
Basically, you just have to make pull requests to open source software.
Please make legit pull requests.
Yeah.
No, don't be a bad citizen and embarrass us.
Yep. Because you do sort of represent
Yourself.
yourself,
Yourself.
too.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
say.
Well, there's this article that was on Hacker News this afternoon where they were like bemoaning Hacktoberfest because people send in like crappy, oh, I changed the white space in your README.
Oh,
Give
like
me
it
a
wasn't getting
t-shirt.
legit stuff done.
Oh,
They were getting like legit stuff, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That, I mean, that's
So-
always going to be a critique, though. I feel.
So to help you make a legitimate open source contribution, we have 6 projects we would like to highlight today. 3 are mine, 3 are not mine. So we'll go ahead. We'll start with mine. Do you want to pull up
yeah, I
Bobbit?
pulled up Bobbit, yeah.
So Bobbit, most of you are familiar with. This is the bot that is on IRC. It's also on Slack. For each of my projects, for all the projects that we are going to highlight today, what we did was we created a few issues. So if you click on the Issues tab, I noted which issues are like good first tests or first PRs. These are things that I believe any typical sophomore, junior CS major at Notre Dame, CPEG major at Notre Dame should be able
Thank
to
you.
do. So, for instance, one is simply to port two different modules that are already written, but for the old version of Bobbit, I like to upgrade to the new version. I can always look for more tests. If you can think of a new module or functionality you'd like to add to Bobbit, it has to be legitimate, it has to be like, useful or funny at least, then I probably will accept it. And I've tried really hard to make Bobbit, at least the new version of Bobbit, Bobbit 2.0, to be much more usable and easier to test with, to play around with, to extend. So I'm open for business on that front. If you're interested in working on that and you want to interact with me and talk to me about it, you can message me on the ND Lug IRC. Just go to pound lug, the lug channel, and I'll be there and I'll be happy to talk to you about Bobbit. Another project that I want to highlight is Dread. So Student 06 says, when about Discord, I would actually love to add a Discord protocol support, but I don't think that's a good first time PR. Unless you're familiar with it, then that's fine. But I would actually love to support Discord because I'm on Discord for one of my friend groups now, unfortunately. So I would love to have Bobbit there. But Dread is something that you guys use for your grading on most of my classes. So once again, if you go to the top, go to issues. There's a couple issues that I've highlighted. The main thing I'm looking for that should be relatively straightforward to do is automated testing. And so I would love to get unit tests, things like that. Some changing of the configurations. I would love to add new languages. So one language I would love to add is Zig. If there's another language that I don't support yet that you want to add support to, again, I will be happy to work with you on adding that support. It's relatively straightforward. Unfortunately, it's edit like 400 files. I can walk you through that. But I would love to add more languages. B minor, that'd be cool. We used to support Brainfuck, but I removed that.
Aww.
But I would love to support more esoteric languages for sure.
Okay.
The third project, my final project that I have here is Yield Me. Yield Me is the paste bin that Bobbit uses that I use for a lot of my stuff. It's also URL shortener. Again, I'm looking for a lot of help adding tests. I've been very bad about my personal projects adding tests. I know I make you guys write tests all the time, but this is also powers another website. I won't name it. A competitor.
Oh, it's yield.mo.
Did you didn't. Oh
I
my
did.
god, you did.
There's a couple of features I would love to have. And so Mike, if you want to add to Yield Me and then PR that'd be great.
Maybe.
But some things I think that'd be really good that I didn't list yet, but to think about are support for different themes. Better instructions and documentation. I need a lot of documentation on all my projects, to be honest. I write them for myself and assume I will remember, but
This is an issue from 2 years ago. Setup.py.
Yeah, I know.
SMH.
It's we need a lot of help on this. All right. The fourth project is not for me. It's from Student 06. Do you guys want to bring up Chad Stride here?
Chad Stride.
So Student 06, do you wanna talk a little bit, or do you want to mention?
Yeah, I asked him about it. He
Let's
says,
see.
quote, "It's a cool terminal program. It's sick. It's the best thing ever." I
Alright.
guess that's all you need to know.
Let's see
So-
if it runs.
So if you're on the Stu machines and you type in CS, I believe Chad Stride
Hit me
will
with
come
the
up.
link. What link? Oh, Zoom link. Yeah. You want to hop on and say something about this?
Yeah, just send him the link, dude.
All right, I will. Sam, I'm already seeing this to you.
Yeah, I think you put more work in the README than you did in the actual source code.
The
so.
README is pretty good. I don't know what you're talking about.
Also, it's kind of interesting though. A lot of like open source projects will do, like Bowie was talking about, like the good first contribution. A lot of them will actually do that. They'll like mark things out as good first contribution.
Hello?
Student 06
What's up?
gang, what's up?
So pitch
Oh, I'm
pitch
on the
this, dude.
Lugcast. Mama made it.
Sell us Chad Stride.
Find a way to only have one chat.
All right, yeah. So Chad Stride, it's kind of like if you've ever seen SL, Steam Locomotive. It's like a program that when you type in LS wrong, it like makes a train that goes across your screen but stuck. This is Chad Stride. It's something that like you probably won't type it in on accident, but it's pretty cool and it's pretty alpha. So the big things that we need fixed are, well, first the code got a little messy last semester during the guru points, and some contributors started working on it. So one of the issues is, I guess, to clean up the code a little bit, and then also with that, I'm pretty sure there's a way with incurses to actually reverse the image itself, like the text itself. Currently, a contributor added just a separate array that's just reversed, and that seems kind of redundant, and it doubles the size of the file, so it doesn't really. And there's just a couple other small things like keeping terminal background. I'm not sure if that's still an issue, but it'd be cool if somebody explored that, because I know sometimes I would get like my Vim background instead of my like normal terminal background, and I think that's just an incursive setting. And a big one that's super easy is adding it to your Linux distro's package manager. It's on AUR and Homebrew right now, but if you just add it to the package manager, it shouldn't really ever be updated that much now until maybe after
It's essentially
these issues
perfect.
are fixed, I'll push up a new version of Chad Stride. But once you do that, you can just modify the README, and that's a free pull request right there.
Can we get a Ziglang implementation here?
No.
Oh, sorry.
Implement in
And then
Zig.
also, oh, yeah. Speaking of Zig, people could also contribute to PBUI project.
Yeah, we're
That's
still
all.
accepting PRs for that.
All right,
Are you guys
I'll
really?
drop out, but yeah, but please, if you guys have any other ideas or any questions about it, you can hit me up on Slack or IRC #lug. All right.
Cool.
See
Thanks,
you guys
Sam.
later.
Thanks, Sam.
Cool.
All right. Next we have Terminus. Is Bill still here?
Bill's definitely not here.
No,
He's
he's
definitely
not
not
here.
here.
He goes to bed like at 8.
Yeah, he goes to bed. Yeah,
Aw,
he went to bed
cute.
like 30 minutes ago. It's a Python program to view 4chan. That's neat.
So if you're a degenerate and like to view the chans in your
It also does Reddit.
terminal,
It does Reddit, yeah.
and so this is actually a pretty sophisticated project. It has like 53 stars, so you
Okay,
know,
beast.
some popular people. So it's a very popular project. So, do you want to look at some of the good first issues?
Yeah, let's take a look.
Yeah,
Bill
'cause
highlighted.
I think he has a lot of issues enumerated.
He does. Commit to.
Oh
So we-
yeah. So a lot of them are marked as good first issues.
That's a lot of issues there.
So and this is good. Like I think as you're looking for something to do, right? You want to go through and just look at the issues and be like, "Huh, can I tackle that, or am I even interested in tackling that?"
Yep.
And so,
And like I said, a lot of open source software will follow the same paradigm.
and for this, Bill is in the ND Lug IRC channel. He also has an IRC channel on Freenode, I believe. I'm not sure he ever checks there.
He doesn't.
But he is actually on the lug one too.
Yeah, so you can again, the reason why we're highlighting these projects in particular is because we know it can be intimidating to try to reach out to strangers and try to get help.
Yeah.
And while we are probably still strangers to some of you, but at least
we're
we're
Notre Dame
like
strangers.
we're Notre Dame strangers, and so
Yeah.
we'll be more understanding
That
theoretically.
being said, there's a lot of like fairly chill devs of these open source,
for
things.
sure.
So you can I don't think you should feel super nervous reaching out, and even if you think you have a brainlet question, worst case scenario, they like flame you, and you're like, okay, I'm not gonna
And then you
not gonna
just
work on your
change your nick.
project.
Then you
Yeah, you just change your nick and you GTFO. So I
All right,
wouldn't
let's
feel
talk.
super scared about that.
Let's talk about the last project here,
The blog.
the blog.
Let's see.
So the blog needs lots of loving and helping. Besides needing authors to actually author stuff on time.
There's... yeah. You got a
So
problem?
the biggest thing is I would like for us to move.
Potential
I would
security
like for us.
vulnerabilities.
Well, yeah, we need to update that stuff. Then the other thing is I would like for us to move away from Travis to GitHub Actions.
Yeah, you would.
So I would like for us to move to a more streamlined CI pipeline.
Better
So
CI. Yeah.
if you are a DevOps ninja, please help us out. We desperately need it. Otherwise, I might take a swing at this, but ideally someone else does.
And once again, something you can reach
Yeah.
out to
Yep.
a log officer, Professor Bowie.
And if you have any other projects that you found or you have questions about different projects, again, feel free to reach out to us on the NDLug IRC server. We are also on Slack, but honestly, I'm trying not to ever use Slack except for class stuff. So
You actually probably get a faster response on IRC.
You would definitely get a fast response on IRC. So, but you know, if you really want me to discuss things on the log channel on Slack, I'd be happy to do that. I'm just trying to lay low, because I'm just here to collect the paycheck. So,
Well.
All right, I guess that's all we have for Hacktoberfest.
Yeah.
Next week, I will walk you through a couple things. I'm gonna give the co-host a break, and I'm gonna dominate the main segment.
Ooh.
And I'm gonna show how to do some stupid Git tricks, such as
It's gonna be like a normal
rebasing.
podcast.
So I'm gonna show you how to do rebasing, how to do squashing commits, how to do merging and things like that.
But for real, it'd be really useful if you're planning on
Yeah.
contributing to open source stuff, because it's like this is the
lot of
workflow you encounter all the time. So,
And I will actually live on stream show you how to do a PR to void packages.
ooh,
So I will.
that's
I
the
will,
part. That's the part you can leave the stream for.
I will try to show you like what I do for Void Linux, and you'll be like, "Wow, that's it! Like that's nothing." And you're like, and "He's a contributor."
Exactly.
yeah, I
and then
am.
this you can be like, now you can contribute. It's that easy.
So, yeah, and I'm gonna show you like how to interact with people. Also, like I'm gonna show you the IRC channel and stuff like that, and just different avenues and different documentation stuff like that. Just like how would you break into a project? Not break in, but how would you acclimate yourself to that dev environment? All right, that's all we have. Thanks for everyone that came.
Ooh.
All three members, especially Emery. Do you guys want to do COVID corner, or do you guys want to pass?
I mean, I don't care. I'm up for it if Chad is.
All right,
Yeah,
so
what do
we
you think,
have
Matt?
we have a new section of the podcast. So we tried
Potentially,
sports, but
unless it's terrible, and in which case,
sports didn't work. Sports didn't work because there's no longer any sports.
Yeah, sports are bad.
not to mention we know nothing about them.
So let's talk about COVID corner, which is related to sports. So
Oh,
two big issues here. One is Daddy Jenkins went to the
Please
White
no.
House,
please don't.
didn't wear a mask.
Woof.
How do you feel about that?
I lost all respect I had for the man. A great Reddit post once showed me that
Oh yeah,
I should have lost my
yeah, I saw that
respect
post.
for Father Jenkins. Let's see where it is. I don't care. I think people.
So I honestly don't see why. Maybe I just didn't understand what this was about, but I don't really see what the big deal was, because I think this was an event that they like literally tested everyone for, right?
Yeah, they said they tested everybody, and that you had to be negative before you went. But it was reported on CNN that not everyone was actually tested.
Oh, okay.
And then I think the bigger thing though is I think a lot of students are feeling very frustrated because students are being suspended, some are being expelled,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, well, I can't use the excuse of all the people I know tested negative, and we just went out to dinner, right? Like,
Yeah.
That's what we should start
I mean,
doing.
I understand it's hypocritical. I don't know. I don't think he should resign. I don't think it's that level.
Wait, were people saying? Was there talk
Yeah,
of
they're saying he
resignation?
should be fired.
Yeah, people
Really?
want
Yeah,
him
they're
to
saying-
resign.
So just like how students get expelled, they want Jenkins expelled.
Yeah, it's a bad look, but it's not.
It's a bad
like- I
look.
don't think it's not egregious. It's not egregious.
That's exactly how I feel too.
What is egregious is our football team. So, do you want to talk about the second link here?
Yeah, I pull it up.
Oh boy. So we didn't play Wake
We didn't
Forest.
play last week.
Yeah.
Clearly.
We're supposed to play not this weekend, but the next weekend. But the reason why we didn't play last week because half our team is either
Rona.
in quarantine or
Yep.
isolated.
Yeah.
And the so they're saying the reason why this happened was because they had a meal indoors as a team
Oh.
the day before the game, right? And like, oh, we didn't know that was bad. It's like,
Bruh.
what's going on?
Student
then
06 getting
apparently-
asked if they were on the dashboard.
I think they were added. I think they were finally added.
Oh, that's good.
As in they
Like,
had
retro-
days that they just like
retroactively.
yeah, what?
Retroactively.
Yeah, I don't
No.
get that.
Notre Dame's been very sneaky. They've been retroactively adding people like after the release.
That's really scummy.
So if you look at it, you're like, oh man, it's only one today, and then you
That's
look the next
really
day,
scummy.
it's actually like 7.
They should delay release. No, it should be the other way around. They should delay
Well-
releasing the numbers if they don't have all of them yet.
It's fine. It's all good. Notre Dame
Yeah.
has it under control.
Corona isn't
The football
real.
team. Corona's not real.
So I actually heard that this is also impacting a lot of other sports. Like it changes all the other sports dynamics too, because they like impose higher restrictions on like other coaches and whatnot.
I mean, is
Oh.
it affecting the band? Like, what does the band do?
I've seen the
I'm
band.
not sure. Would you like me
practice.
to yell to Jacques?
I mean, you can hear him anyway, so you know.
Well, yeah.
I mean, how about this? How are you guys feeling about football at all? Like, usually I feel like people at least somewhat are like, yeah, cool, we got a football team. I feel like this year, like, no one cares. Like, no one even talks about it or like, you know?
I mean, as a student who's not super into football, like I attend most of the home games because it was like a fun, like social event, right? Less for the football itself. And now it's lost a lot of I mean, for me, at least it's completely lost like the social aspect. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty checked out in terms of Notre Dame football.
Yeah.
Well, AKK, you never went, man, so.
No, I went sometime. Yeah, I never went. It was a way better deal to buy the tickets and then resell them.
Did either of you go to the game this year?
No.
To a game this year?
I
No,
didn't
I didn't
buy
get tickets.
Yeah.
Because
What about chat? Chat, did you guys go? How do you guys feel about the stadium atmosphere?
we are vibing until we get cocked by Clemson. You know, you're not wrong.
It is
Well, how-
interesting.
How was it interesting?
Yeah, Sam, tell us about your time at the game. I
Wait,
heard
is
it
there a
was
story there?
there.
Okay, it sounds like Lug did not get tickets at all.
Like if you're gonna
Get to go with friends, but it's fine.
what if you don't have friends?
That's the thing. I don't like.
You're in a
Jacques is the
single,
only
yeah.
one I know in this dorm.
He's in the band.
Jacques
so.
is in the band, so
That's sad.
I didn't get tickets for that reason. Like I'd just be going by myself, and like I said, I don't really care too much for the football. So yeah.
Well, how about the third article here? We have I think
Oh,
this
the
is really
JP-Dub.
sad.
JPW virtually. That's yeah.
But
That-
there's no way. Like there's no way they could have held it on campus.
Like, why even bother?
Yeah.
Who is gonna look forward to Zoom meetings? You know what? You know what I love to do right now in the middle of February? A Zoom meeting
A Zoom meeting with a bunch.
with mom and dad.
Yeah, I don't know how they're gonna do that.
Like, I probably want to be involved with this. Like, I can do the meet and greet. Oh, you can go in the breakout room with Dr. Bowie?
Yeah, like I guess.
Yeah. It
The
does.
sad thing is, if we did that, I couldn't tell you anything about the students. I don't know them. I don't know any of the juniors.
Yeah. It seems like so. Okay, so do you still have a role you need to do, or can you like peace out?
I bet they ask for like all the faculty to make a short video, just like they did for graduation.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
And I'm just not gonna do it. So
oh, you're gonna do it for our graduation?
no, I didn't do it last year's graduation.
That's
Why would
fine.
that would be fair?
I'm gonna sift you. That's okay. I'm gonna make sure you get fired. So it's your
I'm gonna
last
sift
year
you
too.
too, Bowie.
It's gonna be your last year.
Sif boat me. I don't care. That would be a blessing in disguise, to be honest.
You can just resign.
What, being
you know?
dishonorably discharged from the university because SIFs?
Yeah. I'd be fine with that.
Would
I
your
don't know,
wife
dude.
be fine with that?
No, she would be less fine with that.
So that's not gonna happen. Gotcha.
Yeah.
We know where the pants are.
Simp.
How about the big news, number 4 here?
Yep, the big one.
The reopening of the DH. Do
Although
you guys look forward to this?
It looks kind of cancer.
I mean,
Whoa.
okay,
you're-
the reason that so currently the options are if you want to eat near the DH with other people, there are tents, right? And there's like grass.
Dude,
and
that looks
does it
so bad. That looks so
Yeah.
bad.
Exactly, but here's the thing: it's indoors, so it's gonna
So you
be
won't-
in the tent if it's like cold,
So your
But-
food
but
won't get
there's
as
a
cold as fast?
Freaking,
or you won't
there's
get
a
cold.
freaking screen in
No,
front
it's
of you.
terrible. Like you're not having conversations with
This
any
looks
people.
like jail.
Yeah, they need to put like the little phones there.
Yes.
Yeah.
so you can talk to each other
Someone
through the
needs to-
glass screen.
Someone needs to meme that. Just bring like an old school phone, just like
Yo,
Oh.
clip this and send it to Josh.
Oh.
Send to PETA. Kiss me through the glass.
Yeah, put your hand against it. I have
You
been
can, like-
always.
You know what? You know
will
what'd be better? You know what'd be better? They did like a girl dorm, male dorm thing. You know,
And they have to sit across with the glass.
Like, yes, sit across with the glass, like speed dating the DH.
Oh man.
DH dates just got very interesting.
Oh God.
This
Is
is
that-
real Catholic University.
Wait, no, dates are not a thing. This is Rona. No,
Oh yeah.
no dates
Is
allowed.
P. Bowie getting fired?
Oh, dude, Charles is here. Charles.
Yeah, he's getting fired.
Yeah, we were
Yeah.
we were just talking about coronavirus update on campus. I mean, are you gonna Zeph? You live on campus. Are you
I do.
gonna go to the DH and
No.
sit behind a plexiglass screen?
I have no reason to.
You could sit at the chairs that are on
I will
South
just be
Quad.
sitting in my dorm room as per usual because that way I can either like work or do reading or something while eating. Like I don't have any friends that will go to DH with me.
I'd go to the DH with you, Zeph.
Wait, so when was the last time you had a meal with friends?
Last semester?
I mean,
Like,
I had
at
like
the
I could
DH?
technically say yesterday, right?
Yes, I went
Okay,
to dinner
so that's-
yesterday.
But it wasn't like a DH meal.
Well, I'm just saying any meal, any meal.
Oh, yesterday.
Yeah, but it was unrelated to
Wait.
like the university.
Wait, you guys had a meal without me? I see how it is.
Do you
Yeah,
want to come?
we did.
We'll invite you.
Wow, bro. I see how it is, dude.
Okay.
Nah, no, students aren't friends. I get it. That makes sense to me now.
What do you mean it makes sense to you now?
It makes sense.
You've
to
been
you
preaching
now.
that for like years.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
Oh,
You guys have friends. Nice flex.
Students are
Jeez.
food. Feels bad.
students are food. Food for Bowie's ego.
Yeah. Did Zephin have a date?
Oh, whoa.
well, we can't talk about Emery's here. We can't talk about that.
And we could if she wasn't? Mm. Yikes.
Wait, here, let me ban her really quick. What's her username? E.
It's
Smith?
E. Smith, yeah.
No, don't.
Let me ban her. That way.
No.
All right. I want to catch the end of the shooty hoops game.
Just
So-
look it up on
Alright.
YouTube. The highlights.
Let's let's wrap this up.
Yeah.
That was our last Rona news.
Yeah.
COVID corner.
That's last of our COVID corner. If
Yep.
you have any more COVID related topics or news things, again, feel free to throw links into the Lug IRC channel. Honestly, I'm there
Yep.
all the time,
Come interact
I
with
s-
us, please.
and I'm basically spamming all the links, all the articles we talked about today. I put in the chat, and so when I make the show notes for the week, all I go is go back through the chat and just pull them back out. So, COVID's favorite Linux distro. Oh, it has to be Hannah Montana Linux, dude.
Hannah Montana Linux.
Yeah, for sure.
How do you say
What about
Gwix?
if favorite distro in general? Temple OS.
Oh, it's true.
Yeah. Gwix? I say Gwix. It's probably wrong.
I heard someone say geeks. Someone says geeks.
Well, they're objectively
it.
wrong. Brutal takedown.
Has anyone used GUIX?
Gwix?
Gwix? Geeks? Has anyone used
Geeks?
Geeks? Geeks is just like a Lisp
even heard of
ripoff
it.
of Nix.
Okay.
It's like it takes an idea of Nix and it does it in a janky scheme.
I think it's pronounced
Guile.
goo.
Goo?
According to Google Translate, it's pronounced goo, and it thinks it's catalog.
Jew?
Goo, like Goo.
You can't listen to the corporate overlord. Dude.
Okay, let's try.
Bing trans. Does that exist?
Does it say it out
Oh,
loud?
it does.
Oh, it
Oh.
does. Wait. GUIX.
You know what? We should do that. We should do this one day. We should do like a esoteric Linux tour. And
But we
just
have
talk
to
about...
actually install them on bare
No,
metal,
we don't.
not on.
It is. It's geeks. It's geeks. See, I'm not
Geeks?
crazy.
That's.
It's terrible. Just like all open source names, it's all terrible. So, he wants you to play the video.
Play the video?
Oh,
well, I have
man.
to first.
The G is silent. Wow, you actually did it.
Does it let me? I don't think it's letting me with such a bad
Oh no.
language evolves. No. Language is set in stone from when it first was invented. Right? Just like how strings are immutable, same idea. I don't think it's gonna say it. I think it's distro. It's just distro.
Is it just distro?
Yeah. Is this smooth jazz? Yes, it is smooth jazz.
We've been very smooth this entire evening.
Charles, you came at the wrong time, dude. You came at the end of the show. We're about to wrap up.
Yeah.
We already did pretty much wrap up. This is after hours, essentially.
This is after hours.
Oh my god, this video is so long.
It's 4 hours of smooth jazz. I was making mashed potatoes.
I'm glad you have uBlock or something.
Wait, is this copyrighted music? Are we allowed to replay copyrighted music?
Well, it's live, so as long as we just don't post this,
No,
a
it's,
recording of this.
No, it means we can't make money off of it, which is fine.
True.
I don't think that's how copyright laws work.
No,
dude.
it's- copyright
On
doesn't
YouTube,
exist.
they could monetize it
And take
for
the money.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and take the money,
Which is fine with me.
which would have been hilarious.
Facebook is not a friend, it is a surveillance engine. Yeah, shut up, Richard.
Wow.
Okay.
Yikes.
Richard isn't real.
All right. Let's,
All right,
let's,
yeah,
let's
let's-
end it.
Let's
Let's
end
end
it
it on
on-
that note.
Let's end it
Let's
on that
end it
note.
on that note. All right. Go ahead, AK. Say something.
Yeah,
Goodbye.
see you later.
Contribute to open source.
I just want this off to end.
Oh, that's significantly more
Yes.
depressing. Y'all.
You want to end it all,
See
Bowie?
ya.
See ya.
See ya.
Play squad. I kind of want to get. I kind of want to make popcorn, but I'll play squad. Yeah, you would. Yeah. Hey, I'm busy, guys. I'm busy. I want to watch the basketball. Log after dark. I'll play this video. Here, let me turn this up.
Why Temple OS is better than Unix. So, first of all, let's say i64. The command line feeds into
well, tell me what parts are not safe for work. Yeah, he does say the N-word. Yeah, no, I turned it off. Light theme not safe for work. What part of it is light theme? My YouTube wasn't. Tactics of physical pen testers? What? I'll find a safe for work. Terry Davis video. No, this is Microsoft Edge. Oh wait, is this the...
For quite a number of years, I have had confusion on my exact reality.
Yo, Sam's, link that one video where it's like a music video of Terry. I don't know if this is safe for work, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
An example of a okay.
I'm gonna make popcorn.
The Truman Show reflects an example of a strange reality. You know, he's like gradually he picks up that something's not quite right about my life. You know what I'm saying? My reality is just not quite right. And then eventually he discovers he's in a bubble and he's on TV. So, Terry, me, there's just something not right about my reality, and I don't have any. Maybe one day he came up with the conception, hey, what if I'm like in a bubble and there's cameras? And he had this conception that explained his reality. What I need is some concept of what my reality is. You know what I mean? For the Truman Show guy, his answer was he's on a TV show and they're taking cameras of him. For Terry, I have zero conception of what my...
Terry has zero conceptions. Oh my gosh, click the link.
Here's the plan. I like to, so like, everybody's like, you should make it more like Linux in this way. Terry's like, fuck you, I know what Linux is, piece of shit. If somebody says you should make it more like DOS, Terry's like, holy shit, man, this guy's dangerous, man, you fucking piss me off. I'm gonna tell you to fuck yourself. I'm gonna tell you to fuck yourself. I'm gonna tell you to fuck yourself. So you might ask, why is Terry Davis the one chosen to make God's temple? So you might ask, why is Terry Davis the one chosen to make God's temple? And the reason is, so like, somebody's like, if you tell me to add lines of code, you say, fuck yourself. But your compiler has undefined behavior. Fuck yourself. It's fucking melodramatic programming. It makes it fucking loaded. Here's the fundamental problem with the paradigm of software and hardware today. It's called bloat and die, okay? The Catholic Church learned, you have to learn something about sustainable systems, okay? This is where, like, you know, when they did forest fires, they're like, we got